Greetings. This is Sharp4rex back onto the charts. Yeah, I took a trade is done. I just want to share how I took it. Just a brief one. As we always say, in Sharp4rex, when we're looking for direction, we have two ways of considering it. One, we use a pattern, that is almighty, and another. And then two, we can use a candlesticks. And in using the candlesticks, what we can do is that we look out for the daily candle and how it would have closed. And in the current chart, you can see that there's this daily candle. That was yesterday's candle, Tuesday, that closed here. Then we have today's candle that is moving. So at the time I came to the chart, this candle had just opened, and maybe it was just about 1 hour or 1.5 hours to 2 hours into it. So it hadn't gone far. So now this candle, yesterday's candle, has a lot of information on it, and the information in it is very crucial in our trading. So now that this candle closed, if the next candle opens, it has to look for a place to move to and then go, meaning that there should be a magnet somewhere that can pull it to it, and then it can gather momentum to pick up from there. So when it closed, there was a gap level here. That's a daily gap level. What I'm using now is just one mini system in the Sharp4rex hybrid system, meaning that you can trade just this alone. Now with this gap that you have there, I would want to place a vertical line on yesterday's candle and another vertical line on today's candle. Just that on Xness, if you place them there and you shift to a lower time frame, it aligns exactly on the 12 midnight GMT. But with this brokers, this forex.com on TradingView, it aligns with 10 p.m. or depending on when the broker market closes and opens. But we prefer it at the 12 midnight. So now I have it here. So if I I'm going to H1 just to be able to place them on where I want them to be. This is 10 p.m., 11, then 12. And then this one too, those are the vertical lines I was talking about, 12. But then from my daily, and as in Sharp4rex, one of the ways we look out for is to now shift to H4. The purpose of the H4 is to find out, since the daily candle has closed and it still needs to go up, it has to pull back to the magnet and then move. Now, where is the magnet? There's a daily level here already, which I had shown, this one, the daily gap that we saw, which is a good level, and that is where I'd love to buy from. But also remember that as day traders, H4 is also a strong level, and you can see I'm putting the H4 level as well. As to how you draw it, you can send a DM to learn how to draw it. And there's another H4 level here. So you can see that there are two H4 levels, which are also magnets that price can decide to come in, mitigate those levels, and then move. That is this H4 level, and then this other H4 level, and then the daily. But from where prices, there's a possibility it wouldn't come to this level. And then, as I said earlier, we shift to a lower time frame to get the other levels that we can refer for to confirm the daily intent I was talking about. So here, shift to H1. Somebody will ask, do you only shift to H1? It's not always, but then H1 is per our system. So once I've shifted to H1, what do? I need H1 level, and there's H1 level aligning with the H4. Yeah, this one is also H1 level. It's aligning with H4 level. You can see it. The daily is still far, but that would have been my preferred place. But what do? Since it is far, that's just about 80 pips difference. That's very long for me. So in that case, what did I do? I used a previous knowledge, not always, but just some previous knowledge to help with something. And what is the previous knowledge here? It was just a trend line I drew. I'm very good at those ones, which I hardly use lately. But I drew this trend line, 2 points here. This is one, then two, then the third one came here. So I had this trend line just because price was finding it difficult to come to here. By the time I came to the chart, price was somewhere around here. Around here. Yes, somewhere. Oh, the magnet is not allowing me to. Price was somewhere. Price was somewhere around here. It had not yet come to these levels yet. But mind you, from here, I realized that, okay, I needed to wait for this, my H1 level, this orange one, to be broken. Somebody will say, but why this level? Yes, it's a level. But remember the importance of looking out for my daily vertical lines and then looking out for levels just before the market opened. Then I wait for a breakout there. But this is H1. But then if I was to wait for H1, it means this is the breakout that has now taken place and it is already flying, and sometimes you wouldn't get the market already. So what did I do? From experience, I went to M15, and you can see from M15 you can see that I had my M15 line too here. You can see it. And then this blue line was my M15 top one, M15 resistance. That was waiting for it to be broken. And what happened? It broke it at this point. So when I woke up, price was somewhere around here. It had already broken it. So what did I need to do? I needed to look for my entry. And looking for my entry, I have a daily level here. That is where I would have preferred. But I also have H4 here and here. So when price came here, it sniffed this first H4. So I set a limit here on this bottom one, 3753. And I was waiting. Then it closed here, started going up. So I took one entry here just before the 53, around 3754, about 7 pips, 8 pip difference. So I took one here, then I waited, and this one also triggered. But what did I do? I had a confidence because these H4 lines are strong, certainly not stronger than the daily, but price can create this as liquidity now to go and then eventually come back. And in this market, trade what you see and not what you think. I want it here. It is showing me a sign here. And as a day trader, H4 is equally strong. So what do? I will not take it on my M15 as I was mentioning earlier. You see my M15 chart, but my entry is on a higher time frame level. The exact entry methods are also there. Probably with time, I can mention those things, and then if you're also interested, you can DM me to learn the exact entry methods, but I'm just teaching you where I took my trade. Then I took it from here. So I had my 2 entries, and that was this buy that you see, and then from there it started moving up. You can see it here. This was the buy, 3753, and that is it. At this point it had moved about 90 pips, but eventually went over 130 to 150 at the time I took massive partials. So now let's go back to it. So you can see that at this point, price then came back. Price has currently done to almost 240 pips from the entry level, the lower entry level. So on this M15, what happened? Price had given the bell, so I took my buy. it came up to this point. It came all the way to this point and then pull back to entry. So if I set my BE early, then it would have hit my BE. Pull back to entry and then shut up. Around here, I close my first one of my entries. Then somewhere here, I've taken my partials. Massive one of what is left is not much. The rest can now do what it needs to do. And that was a trade I took. You see, in trading, trade what you see and not what you think. Now, I was saying that once it broke the H1 level, I have my H1 level there, which I was waiting for. Once it broke it, which it did, I would have been waiting for pullback and then I will buy. But there are levels I can buy from the pullback level and other levels within it. As for the entry levels, if you are watching this video, you can find your own way of entering. That if you want to learn how we execute exactly, you can send me a DM to learn. And this is just one mini system out of the 4 to 5 hybrid system that we have in Sharp4rex. So some can use OLEDs, and some, looking at the time now, can be waking up now to take a trade from now, or they can wait for New York. And if they wake up now to take a trade, there are 4 things they can also look out for, and depending on which one that shows up, you can take that trade. And as it stands now, if I find range expansion, I can decide to hold this trade till thy kingdom, meaning that price can still go all the way. So you see, this was just 7 hours. It has already hit this thing there. It can continue all the way here, but for you to hold, meaning that you should observe whether you have had range expansion depending on the time frames involved, then you can hold further. So if you really want to learn how to trade, come to Sharp4rex and then you would learn. Thank you very much.